everywhere you go. Dettol, shield your family from germs. And Auntie Mary's gripe water. A relieved child is a happy child. Yeah, I agree. Now there's also good news for small to medium scale business owners. With SME Plus, you get to manage all your operational cost in communication. Now this service simply allows you to choose from affordable packages and enjoy talk time, SMS data, and business content all bundled in one subscription. Now the other exciting news is you get free on-net calls every Monday from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Simply dial *5060# to sign up today. WhatsApp or call 0244-308-111 for more information and stay connected everywhere you go. That's right. Like I mentioned, the Drive Doctor is here. Now, on the back of International Women's Day, we'd like to focus our attention today primarily on women's health. But, you know, we the men, we definitely have to come along in as much as this is focused on women, because full support from we the men will make our subject today even more achievable and effective. Yeah. So what at all about women's health are we talking about that the men will have to be super concerned about and involved in? Preconception care. And our Drive Doctor, Dr. Yao Safo, is ready to deliver on it. Hi, Doc.
Hi, Kwame.
How are you?
Very well.
So happy to see you again.
Good to be here.
I think I've missed you, sort of. It's been a while, hasn't it?
Oh, yes. Last week, Kwame.
Do you know how it is to go 2 weeks without a bald man in your studio? I mean,
no reflections here.
No reflections. I mean, I'm just seeing people with hair.
Hair dark. Philip has hair.
Everybody has hair. Come on. So sometimes I'm just craving for a bald man in the studio.
It's good to be here. How have you been?
I've been great. Very well and in good health. How about you?
Yeah, I've been good. I needed a bit of a break.
You look very relaxed. You're on a vacation. Oh my God.
You went
on a vacation.
Short break. Sometimes that's all you need, really.
Yeah.
It gets to a point, it gets to you.
Yeah.
The work, the intensity of it, and the emotions.
I think that should be one of the topics we should talk about one of these days.
Would I be the person delivering it?
I'm
going to physician. Are you taking your advice? People say, "Hey, Dr. Safo, we heard you talking about this, but it looks like you are not taking."
But luckily, you had a 1 week break, so now you have the experience.
Absolutely. I should talk about it one day. Right. So good afternoon to all our listeners, and it's good to be here another Wednesday. But before I start, last Monday was my cousin's birthday.
Oh,
Adjoa Obese of KPMG, here in Accra. So I wish you all the best, and may you grow in health and in wisdom. Right. So let me put you on the spot. Today I'm going to put you on the spot.
Let's go, brother.
So, did you actually sit down and discuss with the missus about pregnancy?
Yeah.
More planning, more the book to home.
Absolutely.
Kwame.
There's
a radio duty.
And no, this is not radio. And you know the women, they actually do a lot of research about, the timings and those things. So I was actually getting educated along the line all the way through. And to be honest, I have to give her credit because they do a lot more research about the timings,
right,
their state of mind, their bodies, and all.
Then Kwame, you are an exception.
Oh,
because in my experience working here in Ghana, I think pregnancy just happens by chance. People get into a certain situation, and that situation is marriage. And then, as a matter of fact, what follows is that
yeah.
But today we want to talk about preconception care, and I want to tie this in with that International Women's Day, which we celebrated sometime last week. I don't quite remember the exact date.
It was on Wednesday. It was on the 8th of March.
Oh, it was on the 8th of March. Wonderful. And anything to celebrate women, for me, I am 100% for it. So I was thinking about it, thinking, what can we do? Because, like it or not, women bear the brunt of all pregnancies. We the men, we think we do something, but after the 2 minutes job, the 9 months, with all the minutes involved in the labor ward, which we call the labor ward, all that goes on the post delivery, it's the woman. So today I wanted to look at preconception care. I mean, we don't do anything. Why do you have that twinkle in your eye?
And you see, that's the thing. So you said the general case.
Yes.
But in my, I'm now thinking back and I realize, no, we're involved.
You're involved.
Do you get what I'm saying?
We alien.
So you are saying that you're done with the thing and then, Charlie, you've got to.
Actually, I know you were involved in that care. To a large extent, so well done. I remember where I first started work at Tema General Hospital, where we used to incentivize the men to come and attend the antenatal clinic with their wives.
Yes.
And you know what we were using to incentivize them?
What?
PQ.
It's still happening.
It's still happening.
Yes,
Okay.
when I go with her, normally early in the morning, there are a lot of women there.
Yes.
But if the men come with the women to the antenatal,
right,
you go straight and then they attend to you and you leave.
Sharp.
It's beautiful. It's still happening.
So, okay, that's a way of incentivizing the men, to play a participatory role rather than just, Kwame, who said we should be citizens and not something.
Oh, Adudi.
I am
Presido.
Presido.
He says we should be citizens and not spectators.
And not spectators.
Thank you.
So here too.
Yeah.
Today.
We have to be citizens.
We have to be citizens
and not spectators.
And not spectators on the sideline.
It's interesting we are actually discussing this because later on Strong and Sassy, Animwa and her ladies are discussing children and motherhood.
Hey, okay, all right. So before the motherhood comes, let's look at the preconception.
Yes.
So what is preconception care? Well, Kwame, this is a set of interventions that are provided before pregnancy to promote health and well-being of women and couples. So I'll take that again. We're looking at a set of interventions that are to be provided before pregnancy to promote health and well-being of women and couples, and also to ensure that a healthy baby is delivered. Right. So the key thing is that we are providing all these interventions before pregnancy. More often than not, people get pregnant and then they come to see the doctor for the first time. I am yet, well, it's happened, but maybe I don't even remember. I can't pick a name. For people to come, a couple or a woman to come and say, "Oh, doc, I'm thinking about getting pregnant, so I want to check whether everything is okay."
Yeah.
Maybe on their phone.
It hardly happens.
It hardly happens. So that's why I say that it happens by chance. People get pregnant and then they understand. In Ghana, we have one of the highest global antenatal coverage rates globally. We do very well with that. But even that, people will come towards the end of the first trimester. It is not the best. So we want to start the care from preconception.
Okay.
So who can get pregnant? Well, a woman in the reproductive age group. And what is that reproductive age group? The moment you hit puberty, and when we talked about puberty here the last time, all right, the moment you hit puberty, you can get pregnant. So the age of puberty keeps going down. So any female in the reproductive age group needs preconception care, because you may not know when you will become pregnant. These interventions I talk about are medical, they can be behavioral, and they are social in nature. So, Kwame, let's look at the components of preconception care. So, what are the ingredients? What goes into preconception care? Well, number one, the first thing I want to talk about is a reproductive awareness. Reproductive awareness. So, Kwame, what's reproductive awareness? You know that a lot of people have some misconceptions about how it all happens. But Kwame, who knew? A guy who...
Oh, calm down. I can explain.
With illustrated diagrams.
Yes.
Right. So, what is reproductive awareness? Well, how many of us really understand the reproductive system? How many of us, or how many women out there, understand the reproductive cycle, the menstrual cycle, for example? Do you know when you release an egg? Do you know how long an egg remains viable? So, for example, if an egg is released today, now, while the clock starts ticking, it is 36 to 48 hours viability. Yes. So actually, there's a very short window during the month that a woman can get pregnant. It's 30 days in a month. You take away the days that the woman is in her menses, then you've got a certain number of days left, 20 something days, left. But when an egg is released, it's 36 to 48 hours.
Is that within the ovulation period? Is that what you call
Yes. So we're talking about the ovulation.
Ovulation.
Everyone's
a school, no? Oko Preseka,
now you're a science student. Now you're a science student.
No, but I had science student friends.
I should get the information from extracurricular activities.
I was doing the vacation classes. Every girl swan a banner.
Oh, Kwame.
St. Mary's.
So you were learning from them.
Learn.
Practicals.
Exchange program. Give and take.
Right. So you need to thoroughly understand the menstrual cycle or the reproductive cycle for both men and then for women. Some men, and now let me use the example of the men. For example, if we are going to do a semen analysis in a hospital, we would advise the man not to ejaculate or have sexual intercourse in the 3 days preceding the test. Why? We want to improve our chances of recovering mature sperms if they are available. All right. But if, for example, the test is tomorrow, and for Monday you have been doing 3 rounds, by Thursday morning, the ejaculate that you provide for us will contain immature sperms.
Babies with sharp teeth.
Today it's not a political talk show. But a citizen's expectations. We can babies with sharp teeth. Right. So yes, you produce immature sperms, and we may give you the wrong impression. So again, if a man is interested in making a woman pregnant, or a couple is interested in achieving pregnancy, then if the woman knows her ovulation timetable, then the man should also make sure that he stores it and releases or unleashes the Olympic swimmers, the sperms, matured sperms who can swim and go and meet the egg for fertility to happen. Okay. Otherwise, then sex becomes a thing of excitement, fun, and all of that. It wouldn't lead to reproduction. So that is what we mean by reproductive awareness. So during preconception care, we would enlighten the couple or enlighten women about their cycle. And all these things depend on every woman's unique menstrual cycle. Number 2, the second component is medical history and genetic issues. Right. So Kwame, every woman's individual's medical history is very, very important. If you have certain medical conditions, then you can your pregnancy can be a high risk pregnancy. And your doctors need to know that and know how to prepare to take care of you during that pregnancy. So for example, a woman who is hypertensive, a woman who is asthmatic, a woman who has a history of diabetes mellitus, these are all high risk medical conditions that can be exacerbated by pregnancy. And therefore, we need to optimize you before we get into it. There are some genetic conditions that run in families. And again, you have to also be aware of it and ask yourself whether or not you want to pass that on. An example is sickle cell disease or sickle cell anemia. It's a genetic condition. And therefore, if you are AS and your partner is AS, then there's always a chance that you produce a child who is SS. So you want to really sit down and ask yourself the question, do I want to roll the dice in this regard? so that you are clear in your mind that yes, I'm rolling the dice. It may come up that our child is SS, although we are both AS. We may have a child who suffers sickle cell with all the attendant medical challenges that go with it. So this is what we mean by medical history and then genetics. The next one I want to talk about, next component we look at during the preconception care is nutritional issues. Unfortunately, our socio-cultural behavior in this country is such that you can't cook on any. Then Kwame, with all your muscles and protein, Kwame will still take the thigh, chicken thigh, because you are the man of the house. So unfortunately, in a lot of communities and societies in our part of the world, and it's a woman they've come to accept it in a lot of ways, because they are the ones who serve the man the meal. So I don't know whether it's coercion or whatever it is, but they will serve the meal that way. So women tend to not to eat properly, and there are some nutritional deficits: iron, folic acid, for example, very, very common. And one of the best sources of iron is in meat, for example. So women go into pregnancies and they are nutritionally inadequate. So we always want to make that assessment, get you even to see a dietitian. So I get you to see you're at the clinic, for example. Mm-hmm. She'll do a thorough assessment of your diet and make sure that you have a balanced diet and nutritionally you're adequate. Because when a woman is forming a baby, the baby is going to be drawing all the nutrients from the mother, not from the man. Mm-hmm. So she must have not just adequate for her, but she must have excess for this growing baby.
So did he?
And you pinting be your man, just the carbo diet or something, and then we need a cultural shift in the way we look at nutrition vis-a-vis women. Okay. And therefore all women in the reproductive age ought to start eating right. The next thing I want to talk about, component that we look at during the preconception care, is substance abuse. Kwame, alcohol. Every week I have to mention it. I don't know why. It's not me, but it keeps coming up. So Kwame, there's something we call fetal alcohol syndrome.
Okay.
All right. And this is a group or a set of problems that you would find in a baby of a mother who abused or who drank alcohol during the pregnancy.
Wow.
So for me, my advice is that all women in the reproductive age group, because most of the time, the first time I see a pregnant woman, she's about 9 weeks, 8 weeks. That's when they first come to us in the hospital. So all the problems that will happen, the damage to their brain, drinking alcohol would lead to that.
Wow.
So it's called fetal alcohol syndrome, FAS. So people can look at it. It's a number of things, a lot of things. But for me, the key thing is what happens to the brain. Because if you damage the brain, then really you don't have a fighting chance in this world. Education is what is going to push you through the world as we know it now. So alcohol in particular, if you are a woman, I want to talk about a reproductive age group. We're talking about teenagers.
Yeah.
From teenagers all the way till you stop menstruating, potentially, or me, I'll say all the way to 45. You're a woman in the reproductive age group. You have to be very, very cautious about the use of alcohol if you still have reproductive wishes. Right. So we'll talk about alcohol. The next intervention that we talk about is domestic violence. So I see, I can see through my juju eyes, some men shifting uncomfortably in their chairs. Yes, domestic violence. Look, pregnancy is a very, very stressful period for every woman. Very, very stressful, Kwame. So you don't want to add to it. You don't want to top it up with any circumstance in the home that would add stress to the woman's life. So for the baby to grow and for the woman to maintain the best health, domestic violence or make babies with. Important. I know women who have miscarried because of the level of. I always want to explore that as physicians with the woman and make sure that.
Okay.
Right. Then the finance minister to join.
After all the haircut,
After all the haircuts,
Charlie.
scalp hair, bringing a child into this world, it's not. It has financial implications. Yes, except you elect to be irresponsible.
One more brand, so they are not in the 40.
To death, you as part. The pregnancy, you may not deliver vaginally, you may have to have surgical. Talk about that, and we want to find out whether the couple are financially capable. I mean, we're not talking about, the advert, you say, hey, when they show the shop, that's what the woman says. No, we're not talking about that. We're talking about just the barest minimum.
Yeah.
And actually capable of raising another human being.
Look, it's not a good idea for you to do this.
Oh yes, actually some of them come and I'm pregnant, I can't. If he they will come, the man will be standing outside. No, I want a ticket. Then the woman enters the consulting room. And it was where the consulting room and come and display that he's not a man. So you are this country and so on and so forth. So you really, really want to have that conversation.
Financial fertility. Oh, you boo your pa.
Exactly. Because of all the stress of you delivered. The woman should have time to recover her strength, feeding the baby at night and all of that. So something must happen. Some form of family planning must. I haven't exhausted all of them, but there's just one or two left. But these are the major components of cannot, do everything. Some of these things, as an individual, as a woman.
Coming in, Lexis, please, can you ask the doctor the risk level of pregnant, but a scan showed that there's a presence of some form of fibroids.
Right. So fibroids are more common than anybody thinks, because of the presence of certain hormones. They look at whether they are inside, whether they are in the wall of the uterus, or whether they are on the outside. And
how can they reach you?
Right. So Kwame, our social media, pages are very, very. Facebook wall is Medical's Hospital. If you want to send us 7